What's going on, HPP fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode. Last week we left you off with Royce's car throwing the belt. I don't know if I talked about it, but it threw the belt. Come to find out, the alternator bracket that has an idler pulley on it, it broke. We got a new one. We got a pulley on the way. So might start working on swapping that bracket out today. The Black 47 Hemi, as you see, is not right there any longer. So that thing is on a test drive, getting wrapped up. We've got some things going down this week. So Hector's car, as you can see, is outside. The new injectors came in for that this morning. Slapped those in. Now Hector's car can finally go to paint and body. And you guys will be seeing this thing as soon as it comes back from paint and body. We're gonna check it over one last time, throw it on the dyno, and then we're going racing. I know you guys are ready to see some content of the twin turbo scat going down the track. So am I. Aside from that, got this white Challenger that is getting diagged this week, and we also have that white Charger over there getting diagged this week. Pretty cool. Shout out. That car's from Louisiana, so got cars coming in from all over the place. There's our Ram going back from the test drive. So that's what we got kicking around. Let's get the ball rolling. As you guys can see, our Challenger is up and running. Turns out the only thing wrong with the car was some ground straps were not properly put back where they belong. Put them on, hook the battery charger up, and boom, we have a running Hemi. As we move forward with our week, we've started our diagnosis on our Louisiana car. This car has a built motor, torque converter, and as you can see, a torque storm as well. Customer installed the torque storm, not to bash on the customer, but it definitely needs some gone through and some repair. There's some things that are just not acceptable as far as we can't let it leave our shop that way. I'll just leave it at that. But the motor was built at another shop and the torque converter was installed at another shop, and the vehicle was being remotely tuned. The customer stopped because he didn't feel like things were going in the right direction, and so they brought us the car. So we did a compression test on this thing yesterday, and let's just say our readings were beyond 10% of each other. So one side of the motor was about 175, the other side was 200, 235. So we have a broad gap, so we're definitely going to have to address that. But the plugs were fouled in it, so we put a fresh set of plugs in it, and we're going to fire this thing up, check oil pressure, and check some other things, and we'll keep you posted on our outcomes. Ew! Y'all see that shit? Nasty over here. Anyways, we've got our next beautiful ride on the lift. 2022 Dodge Durango. This thing is brand spanking new. It's got 2,100 miles on it. Sweet little interior in this joker. This thing is getting a Texas Speed camshaft. Cooks long tubes. 6.4 liter intake. Thermostat. Oil pump. All sorts of goodies. So we're about to pop the ECU out of this thing, get it unlocked. We got to put a smart access cable in this Johnny, and then we'll get to putting all the go fast parts on it and hopefully hit the dyno next week. As you can see, guys, we got our LS swap Ram in the shop today. I am working on mounting our Holley 12.5 inch dash. Woo, look at that LS in there, baby. Our 12.5 inch dash in this thing. So currently got everything kind of taken apart here, working on getting that Johnny in there. So while I'm doing that, John has been plugging away at taking our 2022 Durango apart, and I want to show you guys something. This thing is brand new with 2,000 miles on it, and look at that. John, can I get a light? Look at that right there. Brand new car. Bolt just hanging out. Quality control check, baby. So we'll get that bolt tightened up for the for the customer while it's here. Side note, I want to talk with you guys about something. And this is going to apply to anybody that has worked on a 2020 or newer Dodge vehicle, especially ones brand new. Why is it when you drain the coolant on these brand new ones, does it smell like Badussi? You might want to look up what Badussi is. I'm not going to spell it for you. Sound it out on the Google research what Badussi is. But man, these things can smell. The coolant, when you drain them, they smell so, it smells so horrible. So if anybody could tell me why the new ones smell like that, put a comment down in the comment section below. But other than that, we're getting to the point where the fluids are all out of this thing and we're addressing everything on the bottom. We'll start on the top soon. Get that intake off, valve covers off, cylinder heads off, and get ready to put this cam in this thing. What was that? What was that, John? Squirrel! Stop. What? Stop. Anyways, guys, as you can see, our Durango is going back together swimmingly. We've got our camshaft installed, new lifters installed, our cylinder heads on, got our new springs on. Check it out. As we get the ball rolling on this Monday, let me get you up to speed. As you can see, this lift is empty. There was a Hellcat here last week getting the brakes bled and some diagnostic. I'm going to touch on something early and quick and we'll get it out the way. Customers that are impatient, let me give you a 411 on how it works in a performance shop. When you get quoted for a diag, that means we are going to take an hour of our time. We are going to look through your vehicle. We're going to find out what's wrong. If in that time we don't find out what's wrong, we will let you know what we've discovered in the meantime or what course of action needs to be taken. That does not mean that your vehicle's getting fixed that day though. Smaller shops like performance shops typically don't have a whole bunch of people working. And even if they do, there is scheduled work because you got to make sure your techs get paid. So once we diag it, then you get told a time for your vehicle to come in and get repaired. If it's something small, we'll fix it right then and there and get your car right back out. But if it's not, you have to then get an appointment date. Hi PSI, we are a appointment only shop. We do not take walk-ins. So when you have an appointment date and time, that is when your vehicle will get looked at, and then we go from there. So be patient, long story short, with your shops because they take care of you. I digress. So we've got this 2022 Mach 1 Mustang. Sweet little ride. I forget the name of this blue. Post down in the comment section the name of this blue. If you remember, not too long ago we did the fighter jet gray with the orange accent Mach 1. We did a set of long tubes on. So this one's pretty sick. Some blue action. This thing is getting a set of Texas Speed long tubes and a shifter, which I am not sure the brand yet. GT500 checklist. As soon as I know what shifter this is, because I don't know if this is like MGW or I'm not sure. As soon as I know, I will let you guys know. But we're doing Texas Speed long tube headers on this Johnny. So beautiful car. There's the headers. So that'll be nice. Royce's, as far as an update on that, we got the new bracket, and I don't know if I talked about the last week. I don't know if I talked about the bracket on this thing being a cheap knockoff. Unfortunately, we got a GM part number, ordered one. Actually, Royce ordered it through Amazon, and we thought we were getting a GM part. Just came in a regular box with some bubble wrap. So, and unfortunately, we put the whole car back together, fired it up, and before the engine even fired up, the pulley broke off. The same way that it broke off here. So we're guessing that that's just a cheap Chinese knockoff. Obviously it broke. So we have ordered an ICP. I don't remember. I'll show you guys. But a billet replacement. So no longer will it be that pot metal alternator power steering holder. It'll all be billet now. And hopefully we don't have any more problems. The stock one lasted for, this car's a 2001, so you do the math, it's 2022, baby. So it's lasted for a long time. So we know that that was just a piece of crap. Not that there's an issue with the belt being too tight or whatever the case may be. You guys know how much of a pain it is with blower cars, especially C5 blower cars. So hopefully we can get those parts installed and get this thing off the dyno. Our 2022 Durango is all wrapped up and off the lift. We are still waiting on the intake manifold runner valve control for that, so we can put the 6.4 liter intake manifold on it. Once we have that, then we can put that on, and you will see that Durango on the dyno hopefully Wednesday of this week. So as we make our way into the shop today, as you can see, John is putting the final touches on our Mach 1. So we have our Texas Speed long tubes installed, going to a BBK mid pipe, and then transitioning into the factory exhaust. So this thing does have catalytic converters and some mufflers in the rear. So our 2022 Mustang Mach 1 is all wrapped up. Texas Speed long tube headers, catted, BBK mid pipe, and stock exhaust with an MGW shifter. So let's go ahead and get first fire up with this thing. We'll go ahead and get this thing off the lift, go take it for a test drive, get it on back to the customer. As you can see, we have pulled our 5.7 intake off of our 2022 Durango that we just did our Texas Speed Stage 2 camshaft on, with some long tube Cook's headers for a 6.4 liter intake. So we've already swapped everything over from our 5.7 to our 6.4. So let's go ahead and get it installed on the truck. Boom! AFE intake installed. So guys, as you can see, we've got our 2022 Durango on the dyno. Got a base map in her, and she is chopping away like she should. We've got our Z Automotive intake runner valve controller installed. We extended the harness for the throttle body and extended the harness for the intake air temp sensor. Everything looking factory, looking sharp. So, to get this thing centered up on the dyno, see our fuel trims look pretty good. This thing centered up on the dyno and start making some power pulls on this thing.